Let's be honest, guys. The only reason to get this mount is this. Right here. It's the only reason. You're the one, seriously. Ignoring the fact that I've actually done troubleshooting as a job. You think I haven't restarted my computer at any point in time in the last 5 days?
Yo.
Anyways, my life. I suppose I should ask that. Is Twitch. Let's see here. We appear to be live. Okay, fantastic.
Go get him, champ.
Paperwork's ready for you to sign, Marin. My people just waiting on your decision. Gosh, Mr. Noggenfogger, I know you wouldn't want to damage your reputation as a neutral trade entity by forming closer ties to the Horde. This is laughable. You know what it's like trying to do business with gnomes? Oh, I know this one. It's better than doing business with failed goblins who had to beg others for help. Why, you little irradiated... Ah, enough! You two are driving me insane. Start getting some freaking work done around here and get the heck out of my town. So here's
What's up?
Marin Noggenfogger, the Baron of Noggenfogger, or the Baron of Gadgetson. He's basically leveraged his Noggenfogger elixir into becoming this incredibly wealthy individual, and yeah, he's basically taken over Tanaris. That's how popular the Noggenfogger thing was.
Yo! Hurry back!
Welcome, friend.
And yes, they still sell Noggenfoggers. Now I know what you're thinking.
If you ever
What's
need
the big deal with
anything-
Noggenfoggers? Well, back in the day, there was a quest chain to invent it, basically, and then you could buy it after you did so. I'm glad you're liking it, Golder. Well, now we got Featherfall. Damn it. Try another one. There we go. Noggenfoggers really helps you lose weight. Okay, so...
Yeah.
as I mentioned, several people used to hoard Noggenfoggers by the dozens or hundreds, as the case may be, in order to constantly have the way to transform. Especially on Alliance, because we didn't have the undead model here. You may be like, well, what's so special about the undead model? Well, there's really only one thing. It has the best dance animation in the entire game. Yes, he's throwing up the horns. Actually, I think the deviate stuff was the very first thing that changed your form. But Noggenfoggers was like the second, so you know it's right up there with one of the first. Hello there, monk. Welcome to Tanaris.
Don't be a stranger.
Gotta get goods moving in this market ASAP. If we're gonna be competitive, I got an angle for us. Gadgetson's under blockade by pirates, but plenty of the goods have been blown off, but ships survive intact. They just wash away. So most of them wash up in the shallows just south of town. Head down there and start salvaging. There's crates full of pure profit just lying around down there.
Catch you on the flip side.
Correct, Zoan. Although we will be talking about it. There's literally only one difference on the Alliance, which I will be talking about. Here's the situation. If we want to establish the Bilge Water Cartel's market presence here in Gadgetson, we need to start providing services to the community. The new coast has been great for business here, but the sea's also brought sea giants with it. They're large, foul, and drive real estate values down. Head down to the shallows just south of town and kill as many as you can. I'll cut you in on some of the deals I'm brokering here.
Keep your ear to the ground.
So, like I said, there's literally only one... Well, that's not true. Okay. If we're speaking literally, there are two differences in Tanaris between Horde and Alliance. Two! This is one of them. As the Horde, you do quests for the Goblin there. As the Alliance, you do quests for the Gnome. Now, the Goblin is funny because she's completely upfront about how she's just trying to muscle in on this territory and Nice, Hylisk. And, I call me Fibs. So yeah, she's trying to get herself set up here. And she's pretty blunt and open about that. Kelsey over there is much funnier. I'll admit that freely, because Kelsey, well, she puts up this front of being this super innocent, super lighthearted, ha ha ha, everything's all wonderful. And she's actually this vicious, bloodthirsty murderer. I'm serious, she is actually a rogue. And once you get her out of here, she's like, all right, I can finally drop the act. Go and kill everything, is pretty much what it is. It's great. I love it. That's one of the two differences in Tanaris between the Horde and the Alliance. Once we get to Ungoro, those differences will drop to 0. Same with Silithid. There's no functional differences in Felwood, and there's no differences in Winterspring. So like I said, we're basically in the neutral territories now.
Hey, how you doing?
I make my money around here selling animal parts. I've been perfecting a foolproof method of maximizing profit. The Butcher Bot! These little guys are programmed to harvest every scrap of usable metal from the wildlife around here on a case-by-case basis. He does all the work, and best of all, only I know how to get the goods back out of him. If you're interested in making some coin, take these guys for a spin. I need some glass-hide basilisk parts.
Have a good one.
Oh my god, yawn. Hey, Deutsch. By the way, hi to everyone. Sorry, I didn't really do my normal hi everyone thing in the morning because the plugin was supposedly fixed and it demonstrably wasn't. So anyways, you might be like, well, this is Tanaris. Why? You'll see, Hylisk. Other than the fact that it literally has 17 quests in the entire zone. So, why are they building a ship in Tanaris? Well, that's why. As you can see, things have changed a little bit in Tanaris. And now Gadgetson is beachfront property. So, yeah. Also, for the Naga playable race golder, I agree. It should be a neutral choose-your-own thing. So, Tanaris is actually fairly different after the Cataclysm, and not just because of the fact that there's this giant ocean here now. Well, it's not giant, it's basically a bay. Almost every quest here has been completely revamped. There's very, very little vanilla quests remaining in Tanaris, which is good. Tanaris was probably my favorite of the 40 zones, between Feralis, Tanaris, and Hinterlands, but I have to admit, a lot of that is probably because of my own bias towards desert biomes. I really enjoy deserts, I always have. And so I just kind of liked wandering around the deserts, you know. I actually wrote a story about a character who was just roaming the Tanaris desert and would basically... in retrospect, it's like Minecraft. This was years before Minecraft came out, though. Or maybe not years, but it was a ways before Minecraft came out. And so they would go around and just dig their way every time nightfall into like a little bit of a sand pile and just hide in there for the night and sleep. And it was a troll, so she put up all sorts of voodoo stuff as well. But anyways, here we'll be discussing the Faraki. Bonus points if you know who the heck that is. And a little bit of the Caverns of Time will be discussed. Butchbot will harvest meat. Tra-la-la-la-la. Hey, Mind Blessed. And hello, Jemke. Of course, I have other players as competition. I must kill them. All of them. Fun little factoid. Tanaris, technically, has more dungeons than any other zone. In the entire game, actually. Now, considering Undead have a roll animation, I'm not sure why that's working. Anyways, I say technically because the vast majority of those are actually in the Caverns of Time over there. That's where most of the actual dungeons are here. I said technically, Hylisk. I said technically. I believe, if you don't count the Caverns of Time, there's like 5 or 6 zones that are all tied for having the most instant dungeons per zone at 3, because there's quite a few zones that have 3 dungeons in them. That's also not counting the instances in general, which is a whole other thing. So, who here used to do Zul'Farrak a lot back in the day? I suppose I should raise my hand on that one. Damn it. I'm just going to go back out here. Screw it. The pyramid was how good and bad players were divided. So true. I never actually got Solthrace. I helped a friend get it. By the time he got it, we had been running Zul'Farrak so much, he was level 50 by the time he got it. And it was obsoleted very quickly afterwards. But yes, Zul'Farrak was a very interesting dungeon. One of the main reasons I used to run it, actually, was for alts. Not for me, for other players. Because lots of other players, especially in my guild, when we actually got over here on the Horde, were like, we need to go to Zul'Farrak again, and we need to go do Zul'Farrak again. Of course, there is one other fairly big reason why Zul'Farrak was an important part of every single character's life. It was home to the best trinket in the game. That's right, what Ravenwind just said. The carrot on a stick. Zul'Farrak, there was a quest in Dustwallow from Tabitha, I think. Pretty sure. Where you would go in and kill Godzilla. And once you killed Godzilla, you would get the carrot on a stick, which increased your mount speed by like 5% or some ridiculously small number. But everyone got that. It took up a trinket slot, of course. So, you know, it was worth it, though. It was worth it to go 5% faster. I swear I'm not impatient. My favorite ring? My favorite ring. Well, I suppose I'd be most fond of the 2 ring. I like how the water here is just deep enough that I can't actually walk through it. Look at this. I'm like swimming on the surface there. Well, the legendary ring is awesome when it comes to lore. That's true, Stukov. In fact, on many of my characters, including my first one ever, well, my first one who actually leveled, I should say, it was my first and only trinket for a very long period of time. So, since Deutsch has no idea what I'm talking about, if you'll give me a moment here. So here's the 1 ring. Which is not quite as good as the 2 ring, but then there's the 2 ring, which is vastly superior to the 1 ring. And of course the 5 ring, which appears to have eaten the 3 and 4 rings. Speaking of which, interesting little lore tidbit. I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm actually really looking forward to the new Hearthstone expansion, even though I don't play Hearthstone regularly. Why? Because there's going to be a Cthulhu, a Yogg-Saron, a Y'Shaarj, and a N'Zoth card. See you around, Hourglass. In other words, we will get our very, very first official picture of exactly what Y'Shaarj and N'Zoth actually look like. We have literally nothing but speculation at the moment. We don't know what they look like. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to finding out exactly what those guys look like. But it looks like we won't find out for like 3 more weeks or something. Or maybe it's 2 more weeks. Yeah, it looks like it's 2 more weeks. My bad. Which sucks. But, you know, what are you going to do? So, obviously, most of this water inlet is as a result of the Cataclysm. Now who cares, Fearsome? I'm only interested in the pictures. Shiny pictures. What the hell was I talking about? We've talked before about the concept of what the sudden introduction of water can do to a terrain. Remember, we were talking about that in Durotar. So I actually find myself very, very curious exactly how completely screwed how completely screwed Tanaris actually is. Because this was just desert. And this was just a hellscape blasted terrain. I have a theory about that, by the way, which I'll get to in just a moment. And so all of a sudden there's just water all over the place. Do you really think the soil underneath that sand is actually going to be fine in that circumstance? Do you mind linking me, Charlord? Because I was unable to find them earlier. I only found Cthulhu. No part goes to waste. Yay! Must find more basilisks. Oh yeah, you gotta whisper, because otherwise it'll not happen. Yeah, the water would be very, very salt-filled as well, because it came straight from the ocean. So, yeah. I admittedly do not know enough about geology and terrain to know exactly what would happen if you just suddenly dumped an entire bay's worth of water on a desert. If anybody here is an expert enough sufficiently in geology to tell me what would happen there, I would love to know. And yeah, we're really camped right now. Cargo. Yes it is, Ricky. I will, Zoan. He just linked me Cthulhu, which I've already seen. Like I said, I'm not sure, Scottison. I'm really not. I just cannot imagine that that would be a safe and functional process there.
What's shaking?
See what you got. Mostly usable. This is good stuff. I've already lined up buyers, of course. Here's your advance for the rest of the work you're going to do in the Bilgewater Cartel. Partner.
Glad I could help.
Macadamia, Shadow. Property values are already gone up since you left. People like seafront views that don't include briny, gnarled giants stomping around. Here's your cut.
See you around, friend.
See, Marin, we got you covered, babe. No sweat. Isn't she gonna... Oh, whatever. Alright, Iron Man. We've done enough small jobs around here. It's time to seal the deal. The ruins of the Steamweedle Port are still full of hapless Steamweedle goblins, waiting to be rescued. Haven't they been out there for like a month at this point? Every one of them is a potential future customer. They're firing on every boat that leaves port, so I say we take to the skies. There's a hot air balloon just outside of town near the dock. We could use that. Go ahead and hop in. I'll catch up with you.
Be careful out there.
Like, yeah, I imagine the circle is just kind of...
Time
Hey guys, want to go into Thunderdrome? What's the 2 rules of Thunderdrome? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you what the 2 rules are. Rules are simple. 2 men enter, 1... Wait, sometimes there's women. 2 people enter... Wait, sometimes it's more than 2. And that means more than 2 come out. Alright, only rules to stay in the drome. There are no other rules. You're up against the biggest, baddest members of the Waste Wander Bastard first. This will either be a warm-up or a bloodbath. It's up to you, which.
Glad I could help.
Let's do it. Any ladies and gentlemen present should leave now, for only real men and women should be present to handle the gory spectacle about to unfold. Introducing the first fighter, the warrior of the Wastewanders, the Ayatollah of Kashakola, Ginormous. There's been too much violence, too much pain, but I have an honorable compromise. Just walk away. I am gravely disappointed. You made me unleash my dog of war. Right.
Well met.
So there's Katrina Turner, a slightly taller than average human.
Be careful.
And I gotta wait a moment. Shut up, stomach. What time is it? There we go. At 11:30, I gotta go get the lasagna out of the oven. Just a heads up. I have not, King Goldor. I would probably, I might actually gouge my eyes out before I do that.
Time is money, friend.
Splendidly done, but you'll be fighting more than mere humans. Your next opponent's a mean one. Watch out for his right hook. And his left. In fact, I'd just be wary of his fist in general.
Keep it real.
Well, then, like I said, Charlord, I can't wait for the cards to actually be released. Our next fighter was found in the deepest tomes of Zul'Farrak, gorged on cursed blood, raised from the death countless times. He knows only fury and violence. Dare you face the tremendous wrath of Zumonga?
Hey there. Have a good one.
Ding. Hey, let me get my slave out. Here's my slave in the ring of fighting.
What's up?
Hope you're ready for the next one. One mistake could mean instant painful death. But that's what people pay to see, right? Hope you're not afraid of bugs. The faint of heart may wish to shield their eyes. Being brought into the ring now is a horror captured from the dark tunnels of the Centipar Hive. I give you the skittering death, Serenex. Which that level 100, or excuse me, that level 84 just killed. Instantly.
Hello.
Very impressive. Few can bear to face a Silithid Reaver face to face, let alone defeat it.
Farewell.
God, that's terrible, Zoan. That's gonna take forever to come out. Damn. You canon Legion, Psychotic.
Talk to me.
Is that it?
Glad I could help.
Okay, that's it. That's it right now. Okay. I wanted to make sure we're caught up, because there's actually a lore quest in there, other than the obvious fun Mad Max references later on. There it is. Let's go save us some goblins. Or if we're the Alliance, let's go kill us some goblins. Or... Oh no, I love PvP in Godric. At least I used to. I haven't in a long time, to be completely honest. Hello, Magister. Mortal Counter. So, we have something called a life rocket. It's called a life rocket. I know, Zawan, I get the reasoning behind the other mindset, I just don't agree with it. I never have, and I never will. And I've just gotten less agreeing with it over time. So, in case you're not aware, this used to be a town. In fact, you can kind of still see some of the buildings down there. You gonna let me, like, save people? What the hell? Well, virtually every expansion has had arena stuff, Mind Blast. It's been very popular basically since BC, when they first added that one in Nagrund. Hey, Sonashi. Oh, god damn it. Okay. This is an unusual vehicle quest, apparently. I feel like I've already learned this, too. Anyway, so, back to the point. No, Tetris. I like the new Tanaris infinitely better. Old Tanaris was alright, mostly for the aesthetic. But the quests here were fairly lackluster, just like they were in most of Vanilla WoW in general. And there was a general absence of story. Like, what can you tell me about Vanilla Tanaris' story? Anybody. Anybody. Because I can answer that question. But, yeah. And yes, I'm basically throwing bombs at pirates right now. Pirate scum. It's okay, they're South Sea, so they're evil. It was absolutely awesome by vanilla standards. I will agree with that. I really will. No, really there were only 2 actual plot arcs going through, or story arcs of any kind, going through Tanaris Vanilla. Number 1, the continuation of the Silithid line. AKA, oh my god, the Silithid are advancing, and holy crap, what are we going to do about it? And even that was only like 3 quests. Then there was the quest line about taking care of the pirates in the area. And yeah, that was it. That was it for story here. Even the Caverns of Time didn't really actually exist in any meaningful fashion until BC. And even then, there were no quests or story involving it from Tanaris specifically. The Oldham Walls were here. In fact, a quest from Oldemon over in Badlands came here. And it was like, here, come to these walls. And it's like, oh my god, there's these walls and there's this Titan stuff. And that's it. Oh yeah, by the way, in case you didn't catch, what we're literally doing is flinging rocket packs at people so they can get to shore safely. I'm not sure why they don't want to swim. I mean, maybe it's just because the South Sea are here, or maybe it's because they don't like swimming. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask about the swimming habits of goblins. That's not something that's my particular level of expertise. Honestly, I can't think of any zone I prefer in vanilla over Cataclysm. Wait! I can think of one! Silithid. I know, that's pulling it technically. So this is basically the rocket packs we were flinging at those people. I imagine my panda's having a lot of fun. In fact, can I take a selfie up here? Ah, damn it, that would have been awesome. If I could take a selfie while being rocket packed. So here's an interesting factoid for you. Not counting new stuff that... Oh god, oh god, oh god! Ugh. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. Hey, Darker. Not counting any new stuff, every single major Titan facility has been found in a desert. Isn't that kind of interesting? Now, how many of you think that's a coincidence? Oh, and by the way, yes, I know I'm stretching the definition of desert here, because Storm Peaks. But Storm Peaks is actually a desert. It's just a frozen desert instead of a burning, blasted desert. The reason I mention that, I can't help but think that's not coincidental, you know? It just seems too commonplace of a thing, hey Lonely, for it to just be, oh yeah, it just kind of randomly happens. And given the fact that we know for a fact the Titans really enjoyed their terraforming, and a few things in Draenor that may or may not be the will of the Titans, it seems kind of likely to me that they were kind of pushing things in this direction. And I'm not sure why. Like, there's several reasons why they could try to terraform things into these kind of hostile wastelands. Because Storm Peaks was really, really hostile, too. Just in a different way, you know? But yeah, as both Psychotic and Charlord pointed out, it's actually feasible that this was literally just whatever they were doing was drawing from the land in order to power it, because that's Titan tech for you. And the funny thing is, we even have a decent idea of where that power has been going to. In fact, the next zone we'll be doing is probably one of the places where that power was going to. We've already seen another zone where that power was going to, Sholazar. We actually don't know where Unzoth is, or what he looks like. We do know Unzoth is behind basically everything in the Cataclysm, but that's about it. It would have been nice if we could have actually finished the Vashir area. Yes, Unguro, very good, Charlord. Unguro and Sholazar are both laboratories for the Titans. And given how incredibly overflowing they are with life, it wouldn't surprise me if that's where the life energy is being drained to. Again, for experimental purposes.
What's the word on the street?
Ain't it nice we can do a good deed and see a ginormous future financial gain from it? Ah, it warms my little goblin heart and my big goblin wallet. You did great, kid. Gadgetson's gonna be ours soon. Here's a little token of my appreciation. Can't just rest on our laurels here, babe. We gotta keep this momentum going. People are talking about us. Fortunately, they're also talking about this airheaded gnome. So, apparently she's been running jobs right alongside us. If we're gonna drive her out of our rightfully goblin town, we need to seal the deal here. I'm gonna take care of Gadgetson's pirate problem for them. For good. Head to the Lost Rigger Cove.
Keep it real.
It's time to take out the pirates. We have never seen a Titan, or a living Titan, or an undead Titan, or a dead Titan, or anything about a Titan whatsoever. We have not seen Titans, period. We have seen concept sketches and artwork of Titans, that's it. So, in on-camera terms, we've never actually seen a Titan. And we have no idea. We haven't actually seen any. Well, I shouldn't say that. Never mind. That's a good question, Zoan. Pragmatism? It's not like Garrosh was, the one keeping them in the Horde, for God's sakes. Now, it is worth noting that the entirety of the Black Fuse Company is no longer part of the Horde, since they went off to support Garrosh and the Iron Horde. But, yeah. Freya was a Watcher, is what they're referred to as, Scatterson. Keepers are not Titans. Watchers are not Titans. They are Titan constructs. In fact, thanks to Raw Den, we actually have a fairly good idea of what they look like inside, too. See, every given Keeper and Watcher is gifted with two things. Vitae, or Vita, if you prefer, and Animus. The two forms of life essence, basically physical life and energy life, would probably be the best way to explain both of those. And let's just say that it's really messed up, and we'll get there when we get there. You know, Darker, ironically, that's actually not true. There is literally one Watcher, one Titan construct, that has succeeded in his purpose. It's also the one that we're going to be seeing a bunch in Legion. Farewell forever, Deutsch. We may never meet again. I do like the new Tanaris music, by the way. Algalon did fail. He failed at his stated task. We could argue that Algalon succeeded, but that's from our perspective, really. Good question, King Golar. The twin Goliaths, we have no idea what they were. I mean, actually, we do have an idea, but that's basically it. We have an idea of what they were. So, as I mentioned, she's a rogue. This is actually what she looks like normally. Instead of these sweet and innocent things, she's got serrated blades and death mask, and yeah. And then when you get out, she's like, "Oh, I'm tired of being nice. Let's kill everything."
I seen you around here before?
This is going to be a walk in the park till that airhead over there came out of nowhere with an army of gnomes. Gallywix will have our head if we let these creeps run up, creepy runts one up us here. Alright, I'm going to need a lot of help if we're going to beat the gnomes to the punch.
Have a good one.
Look, babe, I should be able to see what's happening here pretty easily. There's pirates, there's goblins fighting pirates, there's some little gnomes trying to fight the pirates too. I'll make it simple for you. We need to kill a lot of pirates. Can you do that, okay?
Catch you on the flip side.
I've conducted a thorough appraisal of the real estate here, and unfortunately its market value is just too low to be of any use. We're going to have to renovate. Lucky for you, I've learned a few things about arson. Hopefully you have too. You're going to be throwing these perfectly safe bottles of flaming rum at the filthy ramshackle huts over there. And try not to stand downwind.
Keep your ear to the ground.
It's not be a waste for here, babe. These pirates have tons of valuable nonsense just lying around, waiting to be fenced. Can you believe they just sit on this stuff? I mean, why even bother taking it if it's just going to sit around? Stolen goods should be sold off and used to buy shiny new things. Anyway, go be a dear and grab as much as you can. Ciao!
Keep it real.
So this area actually really sucked in vanilla. I like this new We're at War version a lot better. Where it's just constantly everyone is fighting and everyone around here is trying to kill everyone else. I'm a little surprised there's no players around here, actually, since this is basically the spot for that. No, Hylisk. This was fully a pirate area. It was basically uncontested pirate territory. But yeah, this is where you grind Steam Weedle rep. And it sucks. And it takes forever. And it sucks. So if anybody's ever wondering why I've never actually bothered, it's because it sucks. And it takes forever. And it sucks. I could reiterate my statement if I really need to. One of the things I do find interesting is, so the North Sea freebooters coordinated with the Horde and the Alliance and tried to make amends and peace with them. You remember that? The South Sea freebooters, probably by the end of Cataclysm, I'd say, I'd be amazed if they even exist anymore. We go through quite a few different areas of their territories and just completely obliterate them every time we've seen them. Every single time it's like, oh, South Sea freebooters, kill, 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 kill. Also, alright. Anyways, you know, it's going to be funny. We're going to get to the South Seas expansion finally. We're going to find out that the South Sea freebooters are actually, like, even bigger than we ever thought. And they have this massive fleet of unlimited power that was granted to them by Garrosh, who's back from the dead, and has gone back in time to make the South Sea freebooters strong again. And now they're called the Iron South Sea. I'll stop. Anyways, Howling Fjord music for the win. That's all I have to say about that. By the way, pirate booty, in case you're wondering, is just gold and jewels. And all sorts of stuff like that. I'd feel bad for the South Sea, but as I think I've pointed out before, the South Sea are bastards. Like, they are the flat-out evil pirates. While the North Sea aren't exactly good guys, I'd take the North Sea any day over the South Sea. Although I guess the Bloodsail are actually worse than the South Sea. Really. Well, technically the South Sea should win that. The South Sea are much larger and much more influential and have far more going for them. I need to kill one. Yep. Okay, that's not it. The West Sea? You can still get Bloodsail Admiral, can't you? Like, that's not one of the ones that was removed.
Well, spit it out.
I'm pleased to report our brand recognition in this area is skyrocketed now that you've killed most of the people who didn't want us here. Hey, Darkstar. As you may have seen, the ship docked to the north has its cannons blazing. Well, it's pretty fun watching the gnomes run face first into a hail of iron. My bruisers are doing it too, and it's absolutely killing my overhead expenses. I'd like to try and dance through the cannon fire. Get on that ship and kill the Taskmaster.
Don't be a stranger.
She's dead forever, Gemkey. Seriously, she's in Darnassus. She's retired. We'll never log on her again. Wonderful job. You ever thought about becoming a full-time arsonist? I know a few people. It's a nice gig. We'll chit-chat on that one later.
Have a good one. Yeah? What do you want?
See what you got. You're not hiding anything for yourself, are you? You'll never find a bar without me, you know. Beautiful. I think these idiots were just sitting on it. Here's a tip up front. We'll talk about profit sharing later. We've looted everything that isn't bolted down around here, but I ain't done yet. If we're bothering not to do the Steam Weedle cartel's dirty work for them, we're gonna make as much cash as we can while we're here. I haven't seen many earrings on these pirates, so the gold must be in the next best place. Their teeth. The South Sea musketeers and strong arms to the south are the higher-ups here. They'll be the ones with the adornment. Bring me back a good fistful of gold fillings.
Glad I could help.
And yeah, this is a functional shipyard. An extremely valuable resource that we should be claiming for whoever. I don't even care who, just for someone. Seriously, anyone. Just... I mean, that's ignoring the fact that they have multiple ships. This is what, their 6th ship that they have in this area. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but having a fleet of 6 ships just in Tanaris, that's a little crazy. But it does kind of help to show just how incredibly well set up the South Sea really are. In all honesty, if it wasn't for the fact that we were crushing them like a bug, I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually a major power. Like, you know, we keep fighting, you know, elements of the so-called mongrel horde, right? These guys would put those guys to shame. Hey, WQC. Can you see me now? Are we live? Are you live? I don't know. I got nothing. Oh my god. Whoa. Ah. Crap. Oh god. Okay, okay. We're okay. We're okay. What the crap hell? Anyways, excellent, we are live. Hi, WKZ. That would be nice, Ricky, but is incredibly unlikely. I'll go ahead and talk about the quest, because the odds of us getting the map pieces are non-existent, really. So, there's this quest, and you get these 3 different map pieces. It's really cool. And the map is like, you need to go to this directions. And back in the day where there was no quest marker, it was just like, well, figure out where it is, based on the description. And as you go to like, okay, we're going to find Cuervo's gold, and it's going to give us all the gold. We're going to be rich beyond our wildest dreams. And it's alcohol. I'll just go ahead and skip to the end there. It's actually a very potent alcoholic drink. Although I don't know how potent relative to, say, ogre brews or poison. Whoa there, buddy. I like the idea. Oh my god, there's 2 more ships. Oh my god, that's 8. 8 ships that the South Sea have in this area. How are they not already winning? That is a huge fleet. Most Horde and Alliance fleets aren't that big. Wow. Also, Darkstar, just think, when Andromeda comes out, we'll either be blown away by how awesome it is, or blown away by how terrible it is. The ones over there are the donation incentives. The one up there is our mortal counter for this particular run, Darkstar.
What's up?
Nice work, kid. Any close calls? Just get grazed. Good.
Be careful out there. Hey, how you doing?
Don't get all squeamish on me now. Nice. Remember, gold is gold, no matter whose mouth or nose or whatever it's been melted in. It's all perfectly sanitary after being melted down anyways. Or at least wiped off. Alright, babe. I got something bigger for you to take on here. We spotted the captain of the South Sea over on one of his boats to the south. That's to the south, and not the one we've been suicidally bum-rushing for the better part of several hours. He's sitting there, smug and stoic, watching us war down here. I'll spare you the hostile takeover jokes. Get on his ship and beat the tar out of him. By the way, this is Captain Dreadbeard. Fear the beard.
Go get him, champ.
Oh, absolutely, Takoida. I'd point to Menethil Harbor again, but honestly, just with so much of the coastal terrain changing. That would be actually really cool, Zuan. Insane to do. Don't you have to farm the guys in Grizzly Hills who don't give the detriment, but still give the rep, in order to do something like that? If I'm remembering, I don't know. Alright. Because they know they've got it, Charlo. And they want to flaunt it. That's why. The Monk class is super freaking amazingly awesome. The Death Knight class is pretty awesome. Holy crap, it's a sea giant. He's on the sea giant. He's a South Sea freebooter who has tamed a sea giant. Why are the South Sea not a bigger power than they are? Oh, I've already answered that question. It's because of the fact that we keep killing them. But I do like the mobility and complexity of the Monk class. I really enjoyed Monk tanking. The only downside of Monk tanking for me is the fact that I can't idly tank. I can't tank while watching a movie or whatever. I have to actually be paying attention. I know, a big downside, right? Then there's Death Knights. As I said, Death Knight is actually a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy Unholy. I'm looking to like a lot of the changes at Legion, too. And I really, really like Death Knight Blood, and always have. Basically, the tanking as a Death Knight, I should say.
Yeah.
Sea Giants. I think he was training him towards Gadgetson on purpose. Whatever, he's Splitsville now, and Gadgetson owes us big time. I can't wait to see the look on Marin's face. Here's your cut, babe. You're moving up in the world. We've got done a bang-up job around here. I'm going to make sure these mooks finish properly and head back to Gadgetson for a bit. If you want to keep making good impression on our friends, well, just make some more money. Should head southwest of here. The bootlegger outpost is set up on the edge of the gaping chasm.
See you around, friend.
Guys, we're heading to the gaping chasm. Yes, Scadison. That's right. This is the new Legion map down back here. It looks pretty cool. Does it, Braglin? And how do you know about this? Okay. Hey, what's that in the distance? Do you see that right around here? I wonder if that's the elemental plane of air peeking out into the prime material plane. Nah. Oh, we totally did, Darker. I know, Zuan. Of course Nobel did. Everyone knows Nobel. As I mentioned the other day, Darker, we've known the Broken Isles are there since Warcraft 2. They're not a new feature. So it doesn't actually matter if we encounter it or not, because we've known it's there for years and years and years and years at this point. Like almost 30 years now. So it's like, there's the Broken Shore, because it doesn't freaking matter.
Time is money, friend.
You're with Megs, huh? Word is she's pretty well hell-bent on making nice with Noggenfogger. Not like I care. You ready to kill some bugs? By the way, look how he's actually got tier 2.5 shoulder. Just shoulder. Oh, I think he's got gauntlets, too. He's also got a weapon from it. This guy's a little screwed up in the head.
Be good.
I'm not here on a vacation, pal. Noggenfogger sent me down here with a mission. Find out how to turn a profit on these Silithid. Wipe 'em clean. If a Pandaren like you wants to get some favors for the Steamweedle cartel, I could use a hand. I've spent the last few weeks staring at this ugly pit, trying to think how to exploit a bunch of dangerous, violent arthropods for profit. Now I'm out of ideas and starving. These things are awash. I say it's time to start clearing them out.
Keep it real.
We haven't been camped here singing songs with gnomes and playing dangerous machinery, you know. My bad, I've been trying to clear this hive out for a week now. Problem is, they've taken so many losses, but by now, the bugs have the advantage. Lucky for us, the bugs don't like to eat goblins. Or they like us so much they saved us as a treat. Because nearly all my men are still cocooned up there.
Be good.
No, I got this. Yes, Goldar, that is correct. Well, I'm sure someone did Mind Blast. We've been kind of busy the last few years, if you've been paying attention. I mean, first the Burning Legion invaded, and then everything went to hell. And then we had to go deal with the Nefarian and his group. And then the Dark Portal opened, and then the Lich King pissed us off, and then the Cataclysm happened, and then Pandaria happened, and this whole time there's this big war going on. And then the Iron Horde invaded. So, like, we've been kind of busy. And haven't really had time to go to the Broken Isles lately. Thank you, Darkstar. So this is a Silithid hive. As you can see, it's alive, as I've described before. Unfortunately, I don't have much else to add about the Silithid. They are very dangerous. They are very destructive, and I don't just mean like they destroy things. The way that they terraform any area they move into basically destroys the possibility of other life existing in the area. Because it is so involatile to every other form of life. Only Silithid can really thrive in Silithid lands. And Silithid can thrive elsewhere, too. And the best part is, they're just that way naturally. This is just basically how the Silithid work. The Karaji are a completely different thing. And we'll be discussing them when we finally get over to Silithus. But, as I mentioned before, after our first peek into the Silithid back in Southern Barrens, or Barrens in general, really, God, train of thought. After our first big peek into them, every single zone since then has had at least a little bit of a reminder of the fact that the Silithids exist. This is the first really big hive we've actually encountered. I mean, look at the size of this general area. This is much bigger of an infestation than they've had before. One of the funnier little tidbits is that there were assumptions back in vanilla that the wall at Oldham was actually designed to keep out the Silithid, and it was just failing. Now, of course, we know for a fact that's not true, because that's actually what the Scarab Wall was for, and it was failing. Oh, they're quite big. They're quite big. I'll give you a quick preview. No, we'll do it in a second. Darkstar, give me a second. I'm gonna go turn in these quests. Then I'll show you a little bit more. Technically, yes, Isaac. Technically, yes. Basically, hi, Zibris. I don't know, Hylisk. Technically, most of the major insect races are all related to Silithid. Silithid were one of those original races, the ones that were back in the old day, which was a Tuesday, actually. And Cthulhu found the Silithid and mutated and warped a large number of them in his own image, and I quote, building the Karaji and a few other insect-like races, which then branched out over time to become the Mantid and the Nerubians, and I thought there was another one off the top of my head, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, all of those are all offshoots. See you around, WKC. Have fun. All of those are offshoots from the original Silithid race. And it's no wonder that Cthulhu would see the Silithid and think, yes, I will use them, because they are really, really devastating and really horrifyingly dangerous, you know? Just, yeah. The Klaxi are the Mantid, as I already mentioned.
Yo!
This ain't going fast enough. There's got to be a faster way. And you thought I was
Keep
the
it
only
real.
impatient one. The Akir and the Karaji are a difference of terminology only. There's not really much variance between the two. Ugh. Unless you're referring to the original. Well, it doesn't matter. Stamina. Thanks for the help. This is really killing things here. Once you start losing men, you start losing manpower and morale and weapons. And the magazines you loan to that one guy. You know how it is.
Have a good one.
I got an idea, but we're going to need bait. The other day I saw a rabid blisterpaw hyena wander too close to the edge of the chasm, and one of those Silithid comes diving out of nowhere, nearly swallowed it whole. Horrible sight. So, we're going to need the hyena meat, obviously. Go gather some. Get it fresh. Bring it back here.
Keep it real.
You want me to hunt hyenas? Okay. Here I am. In the presence of one of the most dangerous creatures in Azeroth. In my honest opinion, Silithid are probably one of the, if not the most dangerous monsters, creatures, animals in the entire planet. In the entire setting, really. Silithid are frickin' horrifying. Hey, I remember you. Hey, buddy. Narain Soothfancy!
Hi, how are you?
You're out to hunt hyenas, huh? If you don't mind, I've got an offer myself. I'm in need of the eyes from the glass-eyed gazers to the north. Their eyes contain wonderful crystals, valuable to collectors. Now, you may have heard that some sad individuals use these to enhance their paramental abilities, but I assure you, my interests are purely academic. Bring me a good portion of them, and I'll pay you well. Better than these copper-pinching goblins will, at least.
Alrighty then.
Hello, Alophis. I don't actually know why Sylvanas doesn't show the, oh god, Takoida. Undead Silithus. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know why Sylvanas doesn't show most of the normal strains of undead. Obviously, she is very magically powerful, and since being an undead is more being a magical being than a physical being, I could argue that, but that would be speculation on my part, not truth. I don't know is the answer. We do know there are some undead who rot more than others. So, shrug. Whoops. How terrible was it, Lothus? Hyena chunk. We're just getting chunks out of hyenas. Why would we not be able to get chunks out of every hyena we kill? That should be a 100% drop rate. Of course they do, Darkstar. They also have airships. Battle airships. And a few other things. That's what I thought. Seriously, can I just not pick up 5 hyenas and come back here? Clunk. But no. Apparently I'm just destroying them so much that I'm destroying all of their chunks while I'm destroying them. And there's something burrowing over there. No, Sigleaf. I've actually never had that problem. In fact, I usually prefer video games as far as entertainment to other forms of entertainment because I'm actually doing something, as opposed to passively doing something. That's the difference, I should put it. I am actively doing rather than passively doing. I prefer activity to passivity. No judgment, by the way. It's just, that's my personal preference. Because the Pandorans came to the rest of the world during Cataclysm. It was actually during the war and the Cataclysm when the Pandorans end up here. And thus, that's why they end up on the rest of the world at level 10. Or 15, or whatever you end up as. So timeline-wise, we are still in the Cataclysm. Well, I'm trying to keep the discussion going, Darker. Admittedly, I don't have a huge amount to talk about in Tanaris. Like, I have some discussions about the Varaki, which I'm waiting until we actually get to them. And, of course, the Oldham Wall, which is gone. Hey, Salty. Wow, this is like one of the worst drop rates for a normal quest I've seen in Cata. This is terrible. Come on. There we go. I suppose we could talk about the Caverns of Time while we're doing this. So the Caverns of Time has actually been here since vanilla. That has, I should say, been here since vanilla. Oh, I like the idea of a rig better, Zoan. If you actually go over there, I'm not going to because it would waste time. But if you actually go over there, you could see there's like tons of different buildings of different types. Human buildings are literally meshed together with Night Elf buildings and Orc buildings. And there's a ship just randomly there, and a hut. There's all sorts of random weird stuff over there. Ow. But we couldn't get in. There was this big barrier to entry that if you did very, very specific things, you could glitch through, because in vanilla there was a glitch you could do to glitch through walls and whatnot. It's how we got back into Old Ironforge as well, actually. And there was nothing in there. Me and Pax actually bothered to do that all the way back in vanilla. It's like, yeah, we got in and there's nothing here. BC is when the Caverns of Time actually opened up. But the Bronze Dragonflight has been here since forever, basically. In fact, they have been here since before the Sundering. This has been where they have set up shop since forever. That is specifically a Titan-empowered Nexus point where they can actually monitor the timeways and use the I can't think what it's called. The Hourglass of Eternity, I think, in order to keep track of, manipulate, move through, and otherwise use all of the timelines to their own particular ends. Based on the globes we see, Lofus, we're looking at the entire world. That's true, the Bronze Dragonflight also absolutely despised us in vanilla. They were all hostile. It wasn't until we could start doing stuff... okay, that's not true. During the War of the Shifting Sands, there was a little bit of cooperation with the Bronze Fight. A little bit, just that much. The reason Sidious is because, again, they basically opened up the cavern to adventurers, and so, you know, it got to the point where there was no real reason to guard the front anymore. There we go. Jeez Louise. Chromie doesn't count. Chromie's awesome. And also, based on the quest text, Chromie already knew us by the time we met her in Enderall. That may have been the first time we saw her, but it was not the first time she saw us, if you follow. And yes, Kairos definitely demonstrates the fact that the Bronze Flight is extremely flawed. And, well, yeah, as Bragwin puts it perfectly, they're not as smart as they think they are.
Need assistance?
Do you, have them? Ah, perfect, just what I need, full of potent focusing energies. I mean, perfect for my collection. Nerfane Soothsayer is in no need of artificial enhancement of any kind. Now take your pay.
Be seen.
And be gone. Okay.
What's up?
This is fresh, right? Don't go after anything that's been withered in the sun. Man, this looks delicious. I'm half tempted to try some myself. So what does hyena taste like? No, we gotta focus on getting out of here. Maybe just one piece. Nom, nom, nom. Now that you got a good pile of fresh chunks, we'll just tie it to this rope, and now you're ready to go catch me a Silithid. What? Don't give me that look. It's perfectly safe. Well, mostly so. Okay, you might die painfully, but it'll be easy. Throw the meat out there. Wait for a bug to pounce on it, and drag him back here by the rope. Go after one of the swarmers. I haven't seen the other ones go for hyenas before. Yeah, swarmers are the workers,
Have a good one.
by the way. So that's logical. This looks incredibly unsafe. No, I'm sure it tastes great. Just like vulture, Dakota. Actually, isn't there a survival rule about not eating carrion animals? In real life, I mean. I don't remember if that's a thing or if I'm making that up. I have this vague memory of that. Where are all the Silithid? Ah! They're all dead. I should have known. Who's a good boy? Who's a good Silithid? Who's a good Silithid? Scritch, scritch, scritch. WoW is... See you around, Goldar. WoW is extremely powerful overall in the power tiers. I would say it's one of the most powerful settings. Not up to Warhammer 40k's level, but it's up there. But of course, some people disagree with me on that, so it's all a matter of interpretation, as it always is. Come on. Come on. Who's a good Silithid? Oh, look at your bright little show. Holy cats, it worked! Sooth Fancy! Come look at this. What's it thinking? It's afraid. It's afraid. Starship Troopers reference.
Time is money, friend.
Look at the size of it. It's glorious. I don't frickin' know, Zoan. This ugly sucker's gonna help us bring on the whole hive. Now it's time for my plans to go into full effect. We've got the captured bug strapped up with as many explosives as it can carry, and Sooth Fancy's mostly amazing at mental powers. So we're gonna drive that sucker straight down to the center of the hive, and boom! No more bugs. You get the personal honor of directing the thing. Go to Narain and get set up with your bug pal.
Be good.
Hey, sure you.
My, you're a tall one. Off and away.
I love this. Look at all the explosives just piled up on its carapace. Doop 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 doop. Hello, fellow Silithid. It is nice to be part of the Silithid hive, is it not? Glory to Cthulhu! Is it just me or does he look like he's dancing because of his tempo of his walking? Oh, hello. Yes, yes, I smell delicious, wonderful pheromones. Yes, yes, this way. Yes, this way. Ooh. Ooh. No, it's fine, Lurker. It's fine. Doop 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 doop. Boop. Which way? Which way? Aha, this way. Doop 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 doop. Yeah, I feel like there should be more explosives here. I guess that's true, Hylas. Hello, fellow swarmers. Hello, fellow workers. Why do I feel like this is the spot? Other than the fact that it is. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Boom!
Yo,
Oh man, that was awesome. You should have seen the flames coming out of the hive. Here's your reward for entertaining me as much as for clearing the hive.
Have a good one.
You know, while you're out doing your thing, Meg stopped by here. I hadn't seen her in months, but she barely gave me the time of day. Just wanted to tell me she had more business lined up. She said she was heading over to the Doom Mall compound. And since you're here, you might as well head over. I wouldn't keep a goblin like her waiting.
Keep it real.
If you know what I mean. It's because she'll kill you if you do. So, that's kind of a problem, really, when you think about it. Unless you don't like living, in which case you're totally fine. So never mind. So, I actually feel really bad for the ogres that are around here. Because these ogres are living in Tanaris, one of the least hospitable places in this general region, probably in Kalimdor overall. And, they're hated by absolutely everyone around here. They're hounded and hunted by the Faraki, the goblins, and whatever adventurers happen to come through the zone as well. That being said, the Dune Maul are actually some of the stronger ogre groups in all of Azeroth, actually. And it kind of makes sense why. They have, like, no infrastructure, no technology, no power, no nothing. They just individually are really, really strong because, well, because natural selection, basically.
Yo.
I got a great one for you this time. We're going to initiate these ogres into the Horde, working directly under us. So actually, yeah, getting the Dune Maul to actually work for the Horde would be a pretty big boon for us. And we can offer them a lot. We can offer them a life that doesn't suck. I know that sounds really basic, but seriously, it's like, okay, we'll take you someplace other than Tanaris where you can have a real life, and you work for us. I mean, that... bam, right?
Keep your ear to the ground.
As I may have mentioned, I'm trying to get these Dune Maul ogres to join the Horde and work for the Bilgewater Cartel as cheap local labor. Pull this off! I gotta pay lip service to the actual initiation process and all that. So I'm gonna have to catch, so I don't or I'm gonna catch flack later on. So I've got this charter drawn up and slap the initiation rights onto our own limited time offer labor stipulation contract. I got a disguise for you here, so suit up. Get these signatures filled out.
Keep it real.
Hey there. Me help Goblin Lady make friend with ogres. Yes, Ricky, I do remember that. Hey, Stars. Wait. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go convince these ogres to sign contracts, because they know what that means. Seriously, this is what the Dune Maul live in, right here. They've got rock and sand. I wouldn't say the Dune Maul have thrived out here, but they arguably have done better than anyone else out here, except for the Faraki. Hey, what's up? You signed charter. It's good. Read make head hurt. Join us. Join the Horde. Join the Horde. Wow, an actual pool of water. Holy crap. Hey, there's another Silithid hive over there. Yes, that's right. The Silithid are frickin' everywhere in Tanaris. Well, not frickin' everywhere, but they're up there and they're over there. And roughly they cover up like a third of the entire zone with their hives. So, that's a fun thought for you. Imagine being in a desert and having bugs the size of cars wandering around in it. Regularly. Yeah, I agree, Insidious. These seem dumb by ogre standards. And, yeah. This really, like I said, it all makes sense. This is basically a tribal situation taken to an extreme. In order to simply survive at all, they've actually lost civilization skills. Sand sharks? Not that I'm aware of. But it's not too late to add them. Okay, did, like, an Alliance player just go through here and kill all of the ogres or something? There should be a lot more ogres than, like, 5. Excuse me, 4. Unless someone is farming them for the cloth, which, I mean, is totally a thing. And that looks like what that guy up there is doing. Well, whatever. I actually need to go change over the lasagna really quick. I will be right back, guys. Don't worry, this won't take long. Oof. Yeah, let me give you a good view. Okay. Soon there will be delicious lasagna. Apparently I am a funny ogre. Who knew? Join us for the scourge. Oh, right. Alright. Now that we have the Dunmal tribe of ogres bound under legally binding documents, I'm sure that will be more than enough to ensure their loyalty. I mean, they know what they were signing, right? Right? That's a good question, Darker. I would say laziness on behalf of the developers.
I've seen you around here before.
Wow, nice work. I'm amazed you even got him to hold a pen without eating it. You can throw the suit over there. Away from me. In the fire.
Be careful out there.
Hey, Ogre, now your tribe signed the proper paperwork. What can we do to actually convince all of them to work with us? Me not know what you sir. Okay, babe, like I said. What Ogre like? What good fun forgive Ogre? Ooh, Ogre like eat bug. Get bug from west. The Silithid. Those things are disgusting and completely inedible. Oh, whatever. Okay, babe, like I said, the ogres are too dumb to know that signing the charter meant. So now we actually got to get them to come with us. So we'll be procuring what apparently has become the local flavor. Beloved local flavor for drooling idiots. I mean, let's pop over to the Noxious Lair. It's a big, horrible pit of dangerous Silithid. Kill a bunch of them and bring back the pieces so we can hand them out.
Don't be a stranger.
So yes, even Silithids are consumed. This was a Kodo. The rest of them vary, but they're some of the larger beasts from back in the day when, you know, none of this stuff ever actually happened. Actually, we talked about that back then, Hylisk. We did talk about that back in Fairless. But yeah, what Ashur says is fairly close to the answer. Just because widespread travel to Kalimdor didn't exist didn't mean travel to Kalimdor didn't exist. And the demonic horde did spread far and wide. And, not... What do you mean, Darker? Like, is there another announcement I'm not aware of? Also, this hive is much bigger and much worse than the other one. This is the fun hive right here. I love the twitching. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm aware of the fact that Whispers of the Old God is coming out. I just talked about it earlier, actually, because I'm looking forward to finally seeing what Yasharaj and N'Zoth actually look like. Unless the Warcraft Chronicles book gives us what they look like before then. I mean, I'm okay with that, too. So, we're killing centaurs to get centaparts. Centaparts are, of course, a gross mismatch of different pieces. Ugh, Silithid. Probably darker. I mean, there's no reason not to. Yeah, back in vanilla, back before 1.8 or whatever it was, before, you know, the Silithid plot arc actually started, there were a lot of we got here and we're like, oh my god, there's these freaking bug things everywhere and they're horrible and they're destructive and they're Zerg. Everyone was so convinced these were Zerg. Everyone was like, oh my god, it's the freaking Zerg. There's Zerg on Azeroth. Holy crap, guys, there's Zerg on Azeroth. And that was like one of the biggest things. And this wasn't just me. Like, literally everyone I knew thought these were Zerg. Just a proto-Zerg or a future Zerg or an offshoot of the Zerg or something. Some connection to the Swarm. Keep in mind, this was a long time before StarCraft 2 ever came out, so we didn't really know about the Zerg origins, so to speak. But yeah, we thought they were Zerg. They didn't drop crap. They were really difficult to kill. And usually there were a lot of them. Like, this is actually much more spread out than they usually were. Like, you aggroed one, generally you would be fighting multiple. It was almost impossible to fight just one Silithid. It doesn't help that the overall skeleton of the tanks, the Silithid tanks, is extremely similar to a Zergling. It actually might be the same skeleton. I'm not sure about that. I do wonder about a zone like this, though. Like, what was this like before the Titans set up Oldham? Yeah, there was also the creep, the bug infrastructure all over the place. Of course, we know they are not Zerg. They are Silithid. But, yeah. And when we actually get to Silithus, you'll see another reason why we thought there was that connection.
Yeah? What do you want?
You got enough? These ogres don't like the type to like small portions. This entire camp is a sampler course of awful smells. Let's not handle these things any longer when you have to. Okay, babe, listen up. There's two ways to get people to do what you want. You can provide goods, services, things people want, or you can beat the living daylights out of them. I've often found it's useful to do both at the same time, and you're pretty familiar with both methods by now. Take these little Silithid treats, beat some ogres dizzy, and then give them the treats before you knock them completely dead. Okay?
Catch you on the flip side.
They could be stars. It wouldn't be hard to still connect the Silithid to the Swarm. I agree, Mind Blast. Genuinely. So here's a question for you guys. Would you prefer, like, if you were handed the reins for a moment and said, you have to decide if the Silithid and the Zerg are connected, would you? Would you want that? Would you want to connect them to the Swarm? Or to the Zerg? I shouldn't say the Swarm, because the Swarm's separate. By the way, this is a kind of hilariously literal approach to the carrot and the stick concept. I mean, really. We hit them with the stick, then we give them the carrot. the most common two ways to connect the Zerg to the Silithid I've actually already mentioned. We know the Silithid are one of the original races on this planet, along with the Trolls and the Pandaren. Although, maybe the book will change that, who knows. So the idea is not that hard, that this was like a random Zerg scout force, basically, that got disconnected from the swarm and ended up here, and has basically just been doing its own thing without an overmind ever since. So in other words, these are effectively feral Zerg. And then Cthulhu came along and enslaved them and functioned as a new overmind for these new Silithid. The other idea is the opposite, that these are before the Zerg. These what would eventually become the Zerg. So Zerg to Silithid or Silithid to Zerg. Take your pick. There are plenty of people to steal those from, Zuwan.
What's up?
Most notably the Faraki. Ah, good job. You taught half the ogres here to fear and respect anything vaguely Pandaren-shaped. It's amazing what a little reward will do to keep people in your thumb, isn't it? Here's your payment, by the way. What's with that look? And yes, I did the Ankarages quite a while ago. Or the Ankarages. My other assistants are making sure our proud new comrades are put into comfy cages and shipped to where they're needed most. For the Horde. Meanwhile, we've got one last item on our agenda. Sandscraper, the chief of the Dunemaul clan, is probably too dumb to even be aware of what we're doing here. But I loathe unfinished business, babe. He's lurking in the den just over there. Knuckle down, take him out, and we'll be good to sign off on this, okay?
Have a good one.
Well, it's a shame that they auto-scale weapon size, because I actually do think these are literally Faraki weapons. Oh, they're not the Zerg or Ebony. I do think these are actually Faraki weapons, especially since it makes the most sense for them to be. And because of the fact that the Dunemaul and the Faraki have been in conflict basically forever. As long as the Dunemaul have been here. So I guess that's actually only like 20 years, but still, a while. The Faraki is the name of the Sand Fury trolls who exist here in this entire area. They are primarily focused within Zul'Farrak, but they also have another smaller settlement out there. They are another interesting example of basically a natural selection. The Faraki was never actually a tribe in and of their own right. They were actually a tribe of the Gurabashi, but I don't want to get too much into that. I want to save
What's
that for when we
shaking?
get there. And that's a wrap. Nothing less for us here but sand. Good job, babe. Well, maybe I shouldn't be so hasty. Did you find anything in that ogre den?
Go get him, champ.
Right. I was supposed to go loot something. Hang on, I'm stupid. I don't know how to answer that, Hylisk. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to pretend that we live in a world where Murlocs don't pilot submarines and destroyers. God dang it, I completely skipped the chest of obvious. I'm such an anti-looter. Inside this weather-stoned chest, at the base of the Stone Scraper's lair, you find a curious artifact. It's shaped like a beetle. Its surface is smooth and brilliant blue, lined with gold. It looks mechanical, but unlike anything you've ever seen crafted by mortal hands. Very old. Megs will probably be interested in this. Look, I don't got time for your stinking loot, Zoan. I'm here for lore and levels. Loot can go suck it. Seriously, I actually generally don't loot the vast majority of the time while I'm playing any game. Yes, even D3. Yeah, Jay, the plugin's broke. I actually had a nice Zul'Farrak. I had a nice Tanaris background for you. Here, I'll even show it off real quick. Check it out. We have this awesome Tanaris picture there for the plugin. But no, it's broken. Whatever.
What's the word on the street?
Did you find something? You found that in an ogre den? That's nothing to get excited about, I'm sure. I'm sure it's a perfectly benign trinket. I'm going to give you precisely detailed instructions on how to handle. Keep your voice down and don't wave that thing around. Listen carefully, Iron Man. I don't know how the Ogre's got a hold of it, but that thing's a Titan artifact. I'm no expert, but just the fact alone makes it probably older than the sand we're standing on. I also know that things like that are nothing but trouble. I don't want anything to do with it. Take it south to the Valley of the Watchers. Give it to a blood elf named Andoran Dawnrise. And don't ask any questions, please.
Glad I could help.
The Division would be horrible for me to play. Yeah, I have gotten that impression. You know, that's actually a good point. Most people probably should look at Titan artifacts like, no! Especially after all the crap that's happened at this point. Magni! Oh, excuse me. Hey, look. There's clouds and the elemental plane of air. So that over there was actually the original Oldham entrance. Actually, I don't loot that often in Fallout. I do scavenge a bit, but I don't really loot all that often. So this used to be this big gateway of doom, and you couldn't enter it, and there was just a couple of Titan holograms, basically, out front. They were like, hey, beep, boop, you know. The actual entrance to Oldham is actually over here, and as you can see, it's a lot more intact. Yeah, Silithid were deliberately inspired by Starship Troopers. Or maybe I didn't mention that, but it is true. Tanaris, Unguro, Silithis, Fellwood, Winterspring. There's your answers, Owen. So these are the Reliquary. I believe these are actually the first Reliquary people we've met in Kalimdor. Of all the... You found this in an ogre den? Unthinkable. I'm amazed they didn't try to smash it to pieces. With any luck, Monk, we'll be able to obtain even more fascinating antiquities here. If you're willing to help. Dang. Yeah, I want a picture of this, the desert. That's just... Oops, wrong button, wrong button. Here's me in the desert. At the South Moon Ruins, just east of here, we've made some finds. My colleagues have found stone shards, engraved with ancient writings, newly exposed by the shifting sands. The writings are... I'm sorry, I'm just really... I feel so bad for that broom. Just keep everything tidy. In the desert. The writings are in no known tongue, although they bear resemblance to markings we've seen in other ruins of the Titans. Deciphering them could reveal more secrets. Unfortunately, my colleagues are also busy defending the tablets from the Alliance. I need you to go to the South Moon Ruins and retrieve the tablets yourself. We are not the only ones who have discovered the value of the South Moon Ruins. The dwarves of the Explorers League have swarmed there, taking artifacts and inscriptions for the Alliance. Hello, FM Nito. I don't think I have to explain such further. We will not allow the discoveries here to fall into the hands of the Alliance. Slay as many dwarves as you can. I'm okay with that.
Go, go!
Hey, you look like you're good for getting a go-to quest. So this is the Reliquary. Now the Reliquary, believe it or not, in-game is actually a very recent addition. But in lore has actually been around for a lot longer. Well, not a lot longer, but longer than we've actually seen them. Since in-game, they've only actually been around since since Cata. The Reliquary is kind of exactly what they sound like. Well, because they're inferior to someone, obviously. See what? See this guy right here? I bet he's inferior to me. Damn! QED. So, the Reliquary and the Explorers League are basically opposite each other. And if I could be so bold, as much as I'm, joking, like, death to the dwarves, the fact that the Reliquary and the dwarves are against each other is really, really stupid. The Explorers League is technically an alliance organization. It was founded by Bronzebeard, who we've already talked about how awesome he is, and is firmly entrenched within Ironforge. So, as kind of a natural byproduct of that, they actually consider themselves an alliance subdivision. The Reliquary is, again, basically the same exact group, just on the side of the Horde. In fact, the Blood Elves in particular, who are trying to, again, do the exact same basic concept. The main difference is the Dwarves tend to use more explosives and technology, and the Reliquary tend to use more magic, because they're freaking Blood Elves. Really, there is no functional reason for the two to be fighting each other, other than the fact that they happen to be Horde and Alliance. So, shrug. I don't have anything else to share on that. It's kind of silly, but as we've seen, people will fight each other over stupider reasons in this setting, so what can you do? By the way, just as a quick note, I forget where it was, but I was looking up something for Legion recently, and there was a note about how it's currently unknown why the Alliance and the Horde are still foolishly fighting each other in Legion, but we do know there's going to be at least some kind of PvP, some kind of continuation of the war conflict in Legion. And I love the way that was phrased, foolishly. Anyways, but seriously for a moment, imagine what the Explorers League and the Reliquary could accomplish if they actually worked together. Just think about that for a moment. The magical expertise of the Reliquary, with the experience and the drive and the technology of the dwarves. Come on, tell me that wouldn't be awesome. And they both literally want the same damn thing. They just want it for themselves, not the other guys. Because screw the other guys. Between the two, I will say one thing. I tend to actually like the Reliquary better, even though I like Braun better, if that makes sense. Bronzebeard is just awesome, as we've already discussed. But, so awesome even the Horde likes him. But the Reliquary's approach tends to be more inclined towards my general approach, aka, let's get in and examine and be careful and do this, blah, blah. The Dwarven approach tends to be, go digging! And, yeah. That's... Now, the dwarves have uncovered quite a bit with that, but, yeah. I don't know what else to add to that. Granted, the Blood Elves have quite a bit of a reason to have a grudge against the dwarves ever since what happened back in Eversong, but, you know. Do you have the tablets? Thank you, Ironman. With that dealt with, we can focus our attention on exploring the gateway. For years, this valley has been sealed behind impenetrable gates. Now the Cataclysm has torn them down. The secrets within are ours to discover. There are yet some obstacles in the way. From within the gates, the bygone creations of the Titans have awoken. They wander aimlessly across the sand, attacking any who approach. Someone needs to destroy the golems patrolling the valley. Are you up to it? I suppose I could do that. Actually, FM Nito would be extremely easy to continue having PvP, even in lore, if the two sides finally stopped killing each other. First of all, renegade factions is a concept that already exists. Second of all, and this is the one I actually like best, war games, which is also a thing that already exists. The idea that rather than sitting on their laurels and just being like, we'll just have peace forever and peace in all time and all wonderful things. Here's my point, okay? I don't actually want the extreme of total peace. I think that would actually be a bad thing long term. Like we would grow soft and then we would lose when the next big bad guy came along. But I also don't want the total war of let's kill the other side because they're the other side and they look like jerks. These two extremes both do not appeal to me.
in a war game scenario, we have rivalries without actually murdering each other, you know? Let me give you an example of what I mean, because this is as real-life application. How many of you watched a sport of any kind? Now I gotta wait for Twitch lag. I need to stop asking questions in my chat. That would be great, Scott. There should be like a path. Hey, Judas, there should be like a path where the broom has been sweeping, you know? You can do it. You can do it, little broom. You can do it. Okay, Ravenwind watches sport. Let me just give you my example. I watch football, European football, and Formula One, right? One of the things I love is in a football match, when they're out there, the rivalry is real. They're fouling each other, they're desperately trying to catch the other guy, they're trying to get the ball, you know, all that kind of stuff. The moment someone goes down, the moment there's an injury on the field, everyone's like, whoa, 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 stop, stop. I have seen members of one team see a member of the other team get injured and immediately call a halt to everything and say, hang on, we got an injured guy out here. I have seen people who have been knocked over by the opposite guy, and once the play is over and the ball's moved on, the other guy has reached out his hand to help him get back up. That's rivalry. It's the in-between point. They're still against each other. They're still opposed to each other. They're still trying to beat each other, but it's not the extreme of trying to beat the living hell out of each other, or being rude, or crude, or violent, or hateful. Right? If we moved the Horde and Alliance to here, where there was this sort of gentlemanly, for lack of a better term, rivalry between the two, I think that would actually work out great. Imagine instead of being like, oh, we will kill all the Alliance, it being like, I'm going to frickin' show those Alliance who's better. You know? We're going to show proper Horde pride. That kind of a thing. I think that would still work. And again, if we keep the War Games thing going, the two sides literally, you know, going back head to head against each other in literal conflict, but not with the intent to kill. We're not going in through the, you know, the basin because we want to butcher the other side, because we're already sharing the resources. We're doing it to make sure we're honed. We are sharpening our blades. That's how you keep PvP in the game and still have a peace between the two sides, and keep the war in the game. And of course, then there's all the other threats that we constantly going after. So that's my take on it. I know, I'm an idealistic bastard who needs to die. If I haven't stopped being idealistic in the last 30 years, I'm not going to. Sorry, guys. The creatures wandering these ruins are earthen, the ancient ancestors of dwarves, made by the Titans to shape the world itself. The original earthen broke down and went awry thousands of years ago, and these freshly uncovered ones seem no different. We may as well make use of these confused and unstable creatures. Enter the ruins and destroy the earthen. Collect the jewels embedded within them. God, now that's stupid. We are ready to enter the antechamber itself. This is a momentous occasion. From the writings you've brought us, I believe these ruins were in fact the grand entrance to Uldum itself. The quakes that ripped its doors open have probably collapsed the tunnels, but we may yet find hidden things within. Search the ruins for anything intact that may be studied. The thrill of discovery awaits. Thank you, Ziwan. I appreciate your candor. I can't think of the name of the setting that has that candor and God, I don't remember the rest. Doesn't matter. So like he said, this used to be the actual proper entrance to Uldum. I do feel like pointing this out. It is interesting to me that, okay, so the Titan tech wasn't just keeping Uldum, like, it wasn't just the barrier. There was basically a magical barrier. Thank you, Hylas. There was a magical barrier keeping Uldum separate from the rest of the world, for reasons we'll get to when we finally get to Uldum. But I mention it now because I love the fact that the Titan defenses on that were so strong. They withstood everything, including the Silithid. and the War of the Shifting Sands, and just tons and tons of stuff. They defended Oldham against everything until the Cataclysm. It took the Earth ripping itself in two, relatively speaking, to finally break through these barriers. That's Titan tech for you. Not invincible, but... Honestly, Jay, I'd have to really sit down and think about that to make a story arc that works in that matter. Excuse me. By the way, I want to point out one quick thing. These are earthen, but they're made out of sandstone. I just point that out because, as we've seen with the earthen that were up in Storm Peaks, the earthen are basically made out of whatever was useful in the area. The Titans like to switch up what they make based on where they're making it. Happy birthday, Marley. I hope you're having a good time today, and I hope you go to do lots of awesome, fun stuff today. And if you don't, I hope you at least have a good day. You should at least get some sushi or whatever it is you happen to enjoy today. I don't know anything about rugby, G-Juice. I can't really talk about that. Like I said, there's only two sports I really follow. Everything else I used to play, and then I got run over by a car. Also, this is a nice touch. And you can see kind of the increased texture thing that they really started doing in Cataclysm here. Look at that. That's a good point. It's actually entirely possible that the Sundering did in fact weaken this barrier. I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer for that. Then again, possibly not. The Sundering is kind of a weird thing because the split between them was surprisingly clean. Most of the damage to the terrain is fairly localized. For example, the Barrens was a consequence of the Sundering, and Dún Morog and all this area was a consequence of the Sundering. Not a lot of other real consequences of the Sundering terrain-wise, which is very strange. But whatever. The chest lies undisturbed, sealed for thousands of years. As you lay your hand on the chest, a faint rumbling can be heard. The sound of grinding movement echoes behind you. Holy crap! It's Arcades, except it totally isn't. And yes, Ricky. We're basically within the Oldham Gate here. Okay. The chest now grinds open, the antechamber fallen silent. Yeah, Hylisk, that is true. That's already in lore. Well, see, here's the thing, Jay. Details are hard to work out. The generals are easy. The Horde and Alliance are already working together, right now. They already have been. So it's not that hard of a step for someone to walk up and say, hang on. We kind of have years and years of rivalry between us. Why don't we channel that correctly? All it would take is at least one intelligent person to come up with the idea, not a hard thing to envision, and at least a majority of the leadership to agree with it, which is also not a hard idea. At this point in time, Varian would agree with that. Varian has moved on a lot in his character arc. He is no longer the racist idiot that he was back in Wrath. And I guarantee you Vol'jin would be okay with that too, and so would Bane. And that's just off the top of my head. Oldham appeared, asterisk, because the Cataclysm sort of devastated everything. Yeah, that's the other thing. The Burning Legion's invading. If there was ever a time for us to actually start working together militarily, there is no schedule per se. I mean, you know, we're doing everything chronologically in order, and we're trying to knock out roughly 1 or 2 zones a day. The average is 2 for the Cataclysm stuff, but yeah. At the bottom of the chest, you find a large tablet made of a material resembling stone, but completely smooth and flawless. It's covered in strange writing. While some resembles the writing on the walls, the other script appears completely different. Personally, I do think that's what we're looking at here, Scottison. Either this is the Titans' programming language, or this is put here by creatures who are not the Titans. Servitor races or something like that. Seed races. Tyrande. You know, the funny thing is, as weird as this sounds, I think Tyrande would actually be in favor of the war games rivalry idea, because she's already at the point now where the idea of going full out back to war with the Horde is extremely unpopular with everyone, especially in the wake of the Burning Legion invasion. So the idea of being able to get out her frustrations on the orcs and the people she despises is probably something she would actually welcome. An outlet, which is kind of the point of the rivalry concept. One of the two big points, the outlet and the honing, the sharpening the blade concept. So the Cataclysm, do you want to know what the Cataclysm was, Origin? See this giant maelstrom in the center of the world? This has been there for a long time. It's an eternal storm, basically. At least it used to be. It's actually dying down, finally. In the middle of this is a chunk of where Deathwing burst out, literally shattering the barriers between the elemental plane of Earth and the prime material plane, which sent huge shockwaves in literally all directions. Magic programming is no different than computer programming, really, when you think about it. We do know for a fact that the Titans use magical programming because we've seen one of their programs, Algalon. Handle those carefully, Ironman. They are as ancient as the world itself. Marvelous. To think the shapers of our world crafted these. You're back! What have you found? This is truly incredible. The hieroglyphs are undoubtedly Titan, but the markings below it. Some of these are Kaldorei writings. And you say the antechamber was covered in hieroglyphs? You've made a find more monumental than any riches, Ironman. Please, take whatever reward you prefer. I don't have a follow-up quest. But that's okay, because I know what to do about that. Just a second, I need to respond to one of my viewers here. There we go. How was Northrend affected by the Cataclysm? That's a good damned question. Is the answer. Seriously. I know that Pandaria wasn't affected by the Cataclysm, but we actually know why that is, because there's effectively a huge magical barrier protecting all of Pandaria from everything else. It's why Pandaria has been undiscovered for 10 frickin' millennia. It's because Pandaria has that barrier keeping it in. So, Pandaria wasn't affected by the Cataclysm. Northrend probably should have been pretty well affected by it, especially given its relative proximity, but whatever. Devil Nas, this is a lore run. It is where we play through a game and discuss the lore and the story, the 5 points of story, and the effects on that on the game itself. I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah, the Broken Isles. I really hope when we get to the Broken Isles, I guess, right here, we see just how, like they mentioned how this place was hit by the Cataclysm, because it really should have been. There's nothing protecting the Broken Isles. Hey, Green, I hate you. I'm just kidding. What's up, dude? And thank you, Valscrew. Who knows, someday I may actually be fully where I want to be with this show. Alright. Seems we have a special request. I have here a note from one Meg's Dreg Shredder, requesting to enter the cage and settle a dispute. She's asking you to be her partner, Iron Man. Fan of your previous victories? Or maybe you have acquaintance outside the ring. I wouldn't back down if I were you. This is the grand finale.
For real?
Finale. So who are we fighting? Well, naturally, we're going to be fighting... Dramatic pause. The gnome. And her electric daggers. Seriously. You've gotten in my way one too many times, gnome. You have fully depleted my patience as well. There ain't room enough in this town for the both of us. I will attempt not to take undue pleasure in utterly destroying you. Bring it, Pipsqueak! And obviously, if you're doing this quest on the Alliance, you have to go after her, the goblin. Let's see how that dynamite in your pocket likes the KSL 10 Megaspark. Ouch! 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 Oh God! Lightning death! Lightning death! You gave it a good shot, kid. This is goblin turf now. I suggest you get used to it. Ciao, babe. Let me know if you'd like to do lunch sometime. We'll work out something now that you've learned some manners. That's kind of what I've been doing, Devil Knows. I don't have
Need help?
that many accents, but you know, I try.
Safe travels.
Alright, with those quests done, I need to do one more thing. And... here. I need one more basilisk, so I can actually move on. One more. That's all I need. Yes, I'm basically on a chocobo. That's a thing. It's a white chocobo. So, you know, it's a pretty awesome chocobo. Bzz, bzz, beep, boop. Yes, the Murloc has invaded the machine. You've heard of Ghost in the Shell? This is actually Murloc in the shell. It's kind of different. Actually, it's not a macro. They have something built in now, which is this button right here. Summon favorite random. So all you have to do is random a chunk of mounts, and I just picked all of my my ultra rare mounts that I've got, not counting the some of the weirder ones like that. And I should totally favorite that one though. And so then I just hit that button. It's built in. There is actually a macro for doing a completely random mount. I may still have it. I may have gotten rid of it because I don't actually need it anymore. No, that's not it. Looks like I don't still have that macro anymore. Sorry, guys.
What's up?
Nice going, kid. Did you lose any fingers? Good, we can get some more work for you then. Now, I know you're not squeamish, so I got another job for you. Have you seen the red-feathered birds swarming around the bones around here? Those are fire rocks. They'll light you up good if you're not careful. They're also pretty darn valuable thanks to their unique anatomy. Most of the hunters loafing around here aren't up to the task of killing fire-spitting buzzards. Think you can handle it?
Be good.
Why would I have an Aston Martin, dude? Come on. Be real. It's Lotus all the way. I've also got a couple other mounts. I should probably add that one to the list too. I already have one of those. I already added that other one, so that's not going to be a big one. Nah. There's a kite we can fly. On. I mean, like, we're literally on the kite. It's kind of weird. Look, I tried driving a monster truck around, but I just couldn't stop running over other people. I wasn't trying to. It's just... So that is our mortal counter, Devil Nos. For every time that one of the NPCs say mortals within the game. Right. Harvest. Well, like what, Green? Other than Murlocs, of course. I mean, we all know Murlocs are amazing. Hey, look, I just added this one, too. This is a very appropriate mount for this area, isn't it? Technically, I mean, it's an amber scorpion, so whatever. Nogger are pretty cool. And, God willing, may someday... Whoops, I didn't mean to loot. Will someday actually be playable. Someday. Alongside all the other races we want as playable. New patch. Everything is playable. Damn it, stop looting. Must not loot. Must refuse to loot. You know, I do have to admittedly wonder how the rocks managed to survive this long out here. I know, they're carrying buzzards, but what are they eating? Oop, hang on, where's the... Like, seriously, what are they eating? There's not that much to survive off of, you know? There's not that much to carrion. There's also hyenas around here, so that's 2 carrion races in one zone. Well, thank you, WKC. I do appreciate your continued support, really. I do. It's that age-old thing. I don't want to ask you for money, but if you don't give it to me, I can't keep doing the thing. But I am thankful for every little dollar. So, thanks, man. Oh, that's it, guys. They eat Silithid. Actually, the funny thing is, in lore, the Silithid will probably be eating them. We already know that because the Silithid eat hyena. And they're Silithid, so they can do that. I would just love to see, like, there's this bird just flying around over here, and this Silithid just lunges out of the sand and grabs it, and the bird is, like, desperately struggling to get away as the Silithid drags it down to the ground and just starts beating the crap out of it and ripping its wings off and then taking it back to the hive to be consumed. I should have like a nature documentary. These are the Silithid, and it's just a montage of Silithid massacring everything, including people. Damn it, Jade, really? Really?
Hey, how you doing?
Well, it depends on who you ask. According to orcs, Silithid tastes terrible. But according to ogres, it's a treat. Alchemists pay through the nose for these things. Sure, maybe some of them are dragon parts, but that ain't my problem, right? The hyenas wandering the wastes here might look scrawny, but they've got some of the strongest jaws you'll find. If you're not careful, they'll take a leg off in one bite. That kind of bone strength is a valuable resource, my friend. Just waiting for a buyer.
Have a good one.
Yeah, we do. Well, first of all, it's way too much money, WKC. Second of all, I'm not sure what you'd want from it. I mean, there's... Yeah. I don't get the value for you, I suppose. Yeah, ironically, my streams tend to have more issues on the weekends than the weekdays. I say ironically because I also have more viewers on the weekends than the weekdays, because more people can actually be here during the weekends. It's a interesting problem. Hey, Permeus. I actually don't have that many WoW pets. I really need to get on getting the rest of them at some point in history. I just haven't yet. Now, I really hope this is actually the quest that I think it is. Because I believe this is the one that leads to the actual last little lore tidbit I want to share for this zone. Otherwise, we're kind of done for the zone. So we've already done that, and that, and that. No. It's dwarves, Zilon. Dwarves. Because dwarves have so much interest in body parts. Right? That's a thing in dwarven lore. They love to chop animals up and then cook them over the fire and eat them. Ah. Fair enough, Valscrew. Applause for the awesome community. That is you guys. Hey, Bingers. What's up? No, I have not, Sigleaf. I've never had the time to devote towards it. And to be completely honest, it isn't the kind of challenge that usually appeals to me. It sounds like an exercise in patience rather than anything else. What the heck does elk taste like? If it makes you feel better, I'm going to have some very tasty lasagna soon. If I hurry, I might finish Tanaris before then.
What's up?
Beautiful. We'll have these puppies shined up and ready to sell in no time. If you're looking for more work, I was right. I got one for you. I know an elf by the name of Trenton Lighthammer. He's been obsessed with the sand trolls here for years. He's dead set on finding some kind of mythical sword made by them, Zul'Farrak or something like that, but it never seems to drop, no matter how many times he does the instance. Just a while ago, he finally got a crew together to go to Sandsour Watch and look for it. Last I heard, they kicked the trolls out of their camps and set up shop west of here.
Keep it real.
Ugh. Stomp, 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 stomp. Best achievement ever. Or, I mean, best mount ever. Stomp, stomp, stomp. We'll just enjoy this one for a moment. Yes. Good. Good. But yes, this was the question I thought it was. Yay. Yay for not being incompetent. Just this once. Ugh. So it's finally time to deal with the Faraki. You stay as long as you like. We gonna bury you here.
I am honored.
Zul'Farrak. The first time I heard the word uttered, I was around your age. It meant nothing to me then, as it means nothing to you now. It was not until a war band of trolls from Zul'Farrak laid waste to the land that I understood. And feared. Many will tell you that the spirit plane of suffering does not exist, that it's a myth, a rumor, started to scare children. But believe me, Pandaren, it exists. He loses focus as he runs his hand along a jagged scar on his face. Tell me more, Trenton. Split in two to form the one. The twin blades are bound to Zul'Farrak. Zul'Farrak will be reborn when the twins are found.
Till next we meet.
Thanks, Devilnos.
Greetings.
Marin sent you. I'm appreciative of his help. If you're here to seek out Zul'Farrak, if you wish to help speak with Mazoga, he's been cooperative thus far.
Be careful.
Yeah, so this is the last bit of quest here.
What's up?
You gotta help me. You just gotta. Chelsea and I came out here to make a bit of money. Just sell some supplies. Legit work. Next thing I know, she's on her deathbed. She's got a fever, that shock of blacksmith, and she's hallucinating. She must have been stung by the scorpions near here. I've seen it happen. It's not pretty. I gotta get some poison glands to make an antidote, but I can't leave her side. Please help me. Help me get those glands.
Glad I could help.
To survive in the harsh desert, the Sand Fury had to learn all the secrets of the blood magic. You drink the blood, you get the power. Darkest voodoo, yeah. But there be no room for holding back out here. We're gonna find the sword, we need the blood. Lucky for you, Mazorga be a traitor, yeah? And there be plenty of Sand Fury trolls wandering the hills over here. Go and get the Mamazorga blood, plenty of blood. And then we make the ritual to find young Therese. So the Faraki. The Faraki is the name of the tribe, the name of the clan that consists of the Sand Fury trolls, and that's actually it. These are the least prolific of all of the trolls in the entire world, and there's a good reason for that. These used to be Gurabashi trolls. Back in the day, which is a Tuesday, the Gurabashi Empire stretched across most of the known continent, the one continent, and they were easily the most politically powerful of the various troll powers back, the old troll empires. One fictional race real? Sorry. So, when the Sundering happened, a fairly large number of trolls of the Gurabashi Empire were kind of stuck on this side of the pond, so to speak. Or, if you don't know what I mean by this, so the Gurabashi Empire, imagine this is all one continent, was basically like this, comprised of all of this and all of this, most of the southern halves of the continent, right? Well, all of those Gurabashi trolls who were left over here were left in this general area, and we also know that Tanaris didn't actually used to be this bad. It was still bad, but it was not this bad. After the Sundering, Tanaris became a lot more unforgiving. Now, for whatever reason, the Zul'Farrak decided to stay here rather than move to more, appealing pastures. And as a result, the Faraki kind of had a fairly natural selection thing happen to them. They became a lot more brutal, a lot more violent, a lot more... Yeah, sure, hang on, Permius. A lot more desperate. Trolls in general are not exactly weak, culturally, militarily, politically, magically, but I frickin' here. There you go. Trolls in general are not exactly what you'd call a weak race, but they had to get even more severe than most other trolls do. Remember how I mentioned that trolls tend to, culturally speaking, view other things as things to be conquered and dominated, including death? Well, the Faraki got to the point where any loss, any detriment was simply unacceptable. So every time a Faraki troll dies, they are immediately brought back through a very violent form of necromancy, where they specifically drink the blood of the dead and then use that power in order to... oh, the death wheel? I'm sorry. There you go. They then use that power in order to reanimate the body as a fairly typical example of a Type 1 undead. It has been debated whether or not it's Type 1 undead or Type 3B undead, but most of the evidence points to the fact that it's actually Type 1 undead, and so they're effectively golems.
But they keep working, they keep serving underneath the Faraki trolls, because again, any death is a horrible loss in this blasted wasteland of a desert. So that's why you see so many undead trolls around here, because they have been risen up to help the tribe keep functioning as a whole. Right. That whole thing about drinking the blood and learning blood magic, these are pretty much the only trolls, other than the Zandalari, who actually practice that fairly dark form of magic. Just about any troll will do the, take from the essence of your enemies, but Faraki will bleed you. Not necessarily kill you, but they will bleed you in order to try and extract your life, your power, your essence, and to use your blood in order to fuel their own particular rituals, magic, etc. It's not pleasant, and it usually scars the soul of both the the people using it and the people who you're bleeding to do it. Yes, the Zanzil mixture... Well, now, don't forget Zanzil's mixture was fairly heretical, even by his own people's standards. But yes, the Zanzil mixture was done in the exact same manner. Yeah, exactly, Sergeant Nickett. You can't sleep even when you're dead. And keep in mind, this isn't like... I mean, given how troll souls work, this is actually kind of really, really horrible. Even more horrible than it already sounds. Because the troll souls are still there, aware that their bodies are being desecrated and being utilized as functionally golems. And so any troll who does that is basically being in this horrible tortured state forever, at least until the body finally rots away. Because again, this is type 1 undead, so it's eventually it will rot away. And then they can finally rest. And yet it is still considered commonplace and accepted amongst their society because they need every pair of working hands they can get. Now, it is also worth noting that the Faraki also practice extreme ancestral magic, for the same basic reason. Some of their more venerated elders or venerated leaders, rather than being brought back up as another pair of undead working hands, will actually make their spirit become an ancestral spirit in order to help continue to watch after, protect the tribe, etc. in the future. But that right is usually reserved for the upper echelons, the elite of the Faraki. By the way, the troll's blood is thick enough to just hold in your hands, which is kind of gross when you think about it.
Time is money, friend.
Do you have them? Oh, please, please. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I know a bit of alchemy. I'm not totally useless. Here goes.
Hurry back. Glad I could help.
Yeah, I should do it. Ding. Chelsea, baby, please drink this. It'll make you feel better. Okay. Glug, glug, glug. Oh, what is this? Tastes kinda... I'm gonna lay back down now.
Yo!
Oh, it didn't work! I don't know what to do. Unless... Oh gosh, it's worse than I thought. She must have been stung by one of the one lurking in the cave. I saw it the first night we arrived here. Claws the size of a goblin. Tail as tall as a tree. We shared hushed whispers of it around the campfire. We called it... Gargantapid! Hey, you laughing? Stop that! This is serious! Chelsea's life's on the line. Please, I'll make it worth your while. Just bring me his poison gland.
Hurry back!
Okay. You ain't been drinking it yourself, huh? I've been eating all of it. Mazoga gathers the pile of jellified blood in his hands and raises it to his mouth. It liquefies and pours gorily down his throat. They drink the blood, they get the power. I drink their blood. He gives you a wide, blood-smeared grin. The blood speaks. I can feel its flow to the sands. Drenched in death, a desert of saffron. His eyes roll back into his head. There, the blood flows to the south in the Valley of Bones. Zakuru, spawn of Makari, the dark one who demands sacrifice. His father forced from Zul'Farrak, his ascension interrupted. He will taste blood once more. Go, monk. Zakuru has sung Thrace. You not be wanting him to keep it, trust me. You know, that's kind of gross, Dakota. Ulsa's the one that just makes it more horrible if you think about it. It's quiet. Too quiet. Who would fit the cosmetic of a blood mage? Ah, dang it. Warlock. Warlock is just too similar in many ways. Literally bleeding your own life in order to cast spells. I mean, come on. Alright. Well, other players and all that. That one's my own fault. I was double checking if she was Horde, and I was about to invite her to a group, and then she killed it without me. So, a pretty big scorpion, really. Look at this thing. You know, I complain about monster respawn times, but I remember when it was much, much worse. No, I didn't, the Big O. I need to do that when I get back to camp. Anyone out there ever heard of Laura Shigehari? Or Shigehara? Hope I'm pronouncing her name right. There we go. Okay.
Talk to me.
You're back. Do you have it? I can't believe it. You're amazing. Here, please, take your reward. Take anything. I gotta save Chelsea.
Keep it real.
Chelsea, baby, sit up. I got it. This is gonna kill you. Yes, she is a singer. Ugh, Gus, I ain't drinking that. I can smell it from here. Just let me sleep off the food poisoning, okay? Food poisoning? Wait, you mean those bacillus steaks? That's all it is? Ugh, don't even say it. Of course it was. Those were so undercooked. What do you think poisoned me? Oh, nothing. Honey, nothing. I'm just glad you're okay. Poor guy. Laura Shigehara plays WoW. And, I'd go for a German translation if you could, Crytek. Assuming such a thing exists, which I am assuming, since worldwide. So, yeah. Sure, Zawan, why not? I'm okay with that. As long as they don't get metamorphosis, that's the part that really matters. The reason I say, I asked about Laura Shigehara, she plays WoW, or played WoW, I should say. And she was a big proponent for the idea of Blood Elf Druids. In fact, she couldn't even think of a lore explanation for why we didn't already have Blood Elf Druids. And I gotta be honest, I can't either. I really find it funny how Druids are, like, extremely restrictive, class-wise. Probably the most restrictive classes in the entire game at this point. I could be wrong about that. Maybe that's not true anymore. But they certainly used to be. Tauren or Night Elf, those were your options. I mean, come on. The lasher is not fit for mortal hands. Take a drink. Death forever. Ah, wee. So, yes, basically, literally, that is the gameplay reason why druids are restricted. Because they want to have different looking forms for each race, like the trolls and the worgen have. So, oops, there we go. I had a topic. We're talking about the Faraki. Now they're brought back. There's the whole undead thing. They're out here on their own. One of the other interesting things about the Faraki is they actually were poached by the Twilight's Hammer at one point in time. I say poached because basically the Twilight's Hammer came and said, "We'll help you out, and we'll take care of you, and you'll be happy forever. Please serve us." And the Faraki were already inclined to doing so, because the Faraki actually worshipped Gazrilla, or Gazranka, I forget which, one of the Godzillas. And and that particular Godzilla creature was already an old god minion. It was a massive Hydra, specifically. So they're like, "Sure, we be helping you, man. We have no problems there. That way we be getting a better life than this one, yeah."
Be good.
And then they were kind of flung out the window. The Twilight's Hammer basically like, "Yes, we'll totally help you," and then ran off and completely ignored them. So for some reason the Faraki didn't stay loyal to the Twilight's Hammer. They were the first group to sign up like eagerly and desperately for the Zandalari bargain in the next expansion, but we'll get there. Did the spirits speak true, man? Did you get it? Didn't like you much, huh? More in this world craves blood than just trolls, man. Let's find the other blade. Jang Thrace eludes me, man. The blood is not enough. We gotta find something stronger to find it. When you need every troll, you gotta help out to scrape by. One of them dying's a big problem, man. That's why the Sand Fury loves to raise the dead with voodoo. You fall over, you just get back up and you keep working. Forever. The zombies be making imbue with the darkest of mojo. You go to the west and find a whole mess of them and get me that mojo, yeah. That's right, we're about to get undead mojo. Ew. This is basically a very, very dark form of animus that we're about to be collecting here. Which by itself is already kind of a messed up thing. It's okay, though. Technically, us killing these guys is... Well, there's not even technically. We're doing these guys a huge favor by killing their bodies here. The darkest mojo. It's a black, cottony clump that fizzles in your hands. Actually, Scadison, I was going to theorize on exactly that. This is probably how they store corpses for the future so they don't rot too badly. Like if they have some extra or they don't really need them right now or, you know, whatever, for whatever reason. Or maybe they put them down here like temporarily, like they rotate. So, you know, some go in the desert and then some leave, that kind of an idea. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure why the Faraki stayed in the desert. I mean, I get why they were here initially, and I get why they became this brutal race initially, but they're frickin' trolls. Especially, they're strong trolls, too. Why not try to move on elsewhere, you know? Before anything happened, they could have tried and conquered some other, area. Hi, Caspian, that's not a question, but I'm glad you liked it, maybe? Did you watch all of it? Mazoga tilts his head back and inhales the clumps of mysterious material. His eyes flash. Oh, that's powerful stuff, man. Ah, if you could see what I see now. Maybe you go try it yourself sometime.
The spirits call. Yes, I see the other half now, man. To the south. We be close. It's an oasis buried in the muck beneath the water. Don't delay. Yeah, seriously, why not just go after Fairloss? Or, hell, the marsh, for God's sakes. Anywhere. Well, considering how much their own society has degenerated into this brutal horribleness, I mean, you'd think they'd want to leave. I suppose that is presumptive on my part. So if you had to pick between Kingdom Hearts 2.5 or New Vegas, I assume you'd be picking up New Vegas with all the DLCs, in which case I would actually recommend New Vegas as a superior game to Kingdom Hearts 2.5. However, they're both freaking amazing, so, you know, I recommend both. Now, I assume, joke's on you, man. I found Jonthres long ago. I had both of the halves, till some wily one come and steal it away in the night. Now, Sancthres is mine again. The only thing that you'll be finding here is yon fresh grave. Behold, Zul'Thres the Lasher rejoined. Enough of this. Chief Sandskelp can't reward me if I'm dead, yeah? Farewell, man. For good. Well, that sucks. I would say being in the dark would be worse, in Warcraft terms. Having Arthas's fate is probably the worst thing I can imagine personally in all of Warcraft. Which is part of why I want to save him from it. Well, he was using Zul'Thres, a.k.a. the Blade of Something Suffering. That is crazy, Zuan. I don't know why anyone would do that.
Hello.
Mazoga, he's taken the sword? That filthy... At least you escaped with your life. The Lasher's bite is a vicious one. That foul traitor. I should have known better than to trust his kind. My hunt for Zul'Thres has blinded me. Forgive me, Ironman. Mazoga has fled inside of Zul'Farrak, heart of the Sand Fury. If you seek the sword, you must pursue him. Do not go alone. The entirety of the Sand Fury tribe lies in wait behind those walls, and they do not welcome you. I will stay here. My search for the blade must end. Should you find it, keep it. I must give up before I am consumed.
Good luck, friend.
Alright, let's do it. Time to do Zul'Farrak. City of the Faraki. No, Hylisk. I mean, if he was just dead, I'd be okay with that, but he's suffering the worst thing imaginable. No. Hello, in God we trust. Hey, it's Mazoga. We may be meeting again so soon. How you doing, man? Take a good look, man. This is how it goes. Betrayal after betrayal. I backstab you for the sword, and Chief Urkor's go and backstab me. Even better for it. That's life, yeah? Oh, it was. Now, I know you don't have no love for Mazoga, but I know you'll be going into anyways. Kill him for me, man. Spill more blood on the sand and give Chief Urkar Sandskull what every one of the Sand Fury deserves. A gory death. Maybe I leave some of my belongings without a curse before passing on, if you do. Yeah? The Sand Fury are a resilient tribe. They've survived sandstorms and years of other things, long covered by the sands. It'd be foolish to assume we the only forces here are trolls. We've been taming the scarabs, breeding the Sulthilus, and raising our dead to keep on fighting as eternity for zombies. Ruzlu, the right hand of Chief Urkor Sandskull, be planning to use them to retake Tanaris for the Sand Fury Empire. You best be killing the trolls in charge of this if you want to live, man. Yeah, I love this. This is so normal for trolls. Yep, I'm dead.
Would you like to help me get revenge? It's just so absolutely normal. It reminds me of the guy, the admiral we had, Tony, back in Thousand Needles. I am level 53 at the moment. Time to fight Godzilla! And a few other things. And what is she wearing? Oh. Okay, got it. That's... wow. Alright, guys. Who remembers doing the pyramid of Tanaris, of Zul'Farrak? Because we're going to do it. Let's do it. Time to do the pyramid. Die, 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 die. Or wait, hang on. I think I screwed up something here, guys. So this is actually a nice little thing they did here. And this tiny little touch amused me. They could have been lazy about this, but they weren't. This is Zul'Farrak. But, as you can see, it's not Zul'Farrak. The fact that they actually replicated the instance in the overworld so you could fly over it was really nice, and is just a little touch I really, really enjoyed that they bothered doing. Virtually all the enemies are still here. Most of the bosses are absent, obviously. And the overall setup is a little bit different than the actual instance, but yeah. We can show off these things, though. These are one of the more interesting things, I think. To my knowledge, these are not replicated anywhere else. I could be wrong about that, forgive me. But I like the idea of these basically being bedrooms. This is where they actually sleep. This is presumptive, but I like the idea of if this is where they actually sleep up here. And just crawl up and hole up on top of the thing here. And then lay down for the night in the shade. I love that idea. And yeah, they did it with AQ as well, which was also pretty impressive. But yeah, they could have done this super lazily, and they didn't. In fact, actually, AQ, they did it more lazily. There's no enemies in the overworld AQ. There are, however, trolls up on the bridge and everything. So anyways, let's actually enter the instance now. Zoop. Obviously, we can't fly in here. Yeah. Oh, right. There's a couple other quests here.
Yo!
There's a troll here. Hydromancer Velrotha, I think she was called. She's come into possession of some very rare, beautiful, and powerful piece of jewelry called Tiara of the Deep. She uses it to control a powerful demigod, Gazrilla. Gazrilla, yeah, I'm saying that right. Whose very scales are said to crackle with energy. You know what all that means to me? I need it! Kill Velrotha, take the tiara, and kill Gazrilla for one of his scales. Bring him back to me pronto. I'll reward you handsomely.
Have a good one.
Yo!
Good buddy of mine, Weagle Blastfuse, joined up with the Sergeant Bly and his group of outcasts to invade Zul'Farrak and claim the legendary Soul Thrace as their prize. Of course, they underestimated the Sand Fury, now they're all trapped waiting execution to please their demigod, Gazrilla. If you free him, he'll help you blast your way to Urkoz's private chambers where he keeps at least part of the blade. Kill his captors, and I'll repay you.
Glad I could help.
To make one, Darch. So welcome to Zul'Farrak. Like I said, I did this one a lot back in the day, but it was mostly for other people. Me running it for other members of the guild. Because some people wanted Soul Thrace, some people wanted to get certain loot in here. Some people just enjoyed it. It was a good leveling zone. There's a lot of trash in here. So you can actually get quite a bit of experience and loot in this place. It was a good source of, I believe, Mage Weave. I think it was Mage Weave. He's just that amazing, Gemkey. Now, this area here was pretty much the only spot we ever used to wipe on, right here. I think it was actually more dense once upon a time, but it was pretty easy with the trolls running to basically pull the entire courtyard, and it usually sucked. But of course, the Faraki don't just have trolls. They have scarabs. Behold! Long ago, the martyr Theka was slain in the brutal war between the Karaji and the trolls. Zul'Farrak still stands because of his brave sacrifice. Even in death, he maintains vigil over his beloved city, and it is said that dozens of his insectoid warriors who killed him were cursed to live as mindless scarabs, scuttling at the martyr's side. In other words, in lore, these actually used to be Silithid, or Akir, take your pick. And then, of course, this guy, which we used to kill the crap out of. That's Zumra, right? Yeah. Nope, this is Ansul, my bad. Ansul prefers his Zul'Thiluz basilisk strong and ruthless. He treats these scaled beasts like family, and he is known to strike down anyone, even fellow trolls, who harm his precious children. Rather than give his opponents a proper burial, Ansul allows the basilisks to feast on whoever dares to fight him. These are his Zul'Thuz, his basilisks, in other words. And yes, those were Akir or Silithid. I'm not actually sure which, to be 100% honest. Come on, kill me. No? Okay, I'll go in and kill you then. Lunch has arrived, my beautiful children. Tear them to pieces. This was some people's first exposure to an earth grab totem. Now you be remembering what I told you about the trolls and how they use the dead. Well, sometimes the dead are taken care of. You know, it's a natural byproduct of the way they live. But sometimes the dead are being corrupted by an evil, vicious bastard who needs to die horribly. That one would be this guy. The powerful Loa-born zombie watches over the spirits of the Darkspear trolls, but many of the Sand Furies tribe's fallen members are offered no such protection after death. These tortured spirits obey Zumra, a cruel witch doctor who uses his dark magic to force the city's dead into unending servitude. And he fights you with wave after wave of zombies, because of course he did. Well, Zul'Farrak was one of the old troll cities. One of the original troll cities, all the way back in the day, along with Zul'Gurub and Zul'Aman and Zul'Drak. Those were the really big troll cities. So, yeah, I would imagine this actually was a really, really important place to the old Gurubashi. Oh, by the way, that's one of the reasons why most of the terrain, the artwork and architecture here is actually designed around the Gurubashi style. We'll see a little bit more about that in the future, though. Forgive me. We got to go do something over here. So, give me a moment. Unlike most of the Sand Fury trolls, Hydromancer Velrotha has traveled the world, collecting knowledge and artifacts to help her command Zul'Farrak's sacred waters. Though the Hydromancer's actions have earned her many enemies abroad, she sees the incredible power at her command as justification for her past misdeeds. So, you probably think, oh yeah, they totally revere Gazrilla, whatever. Let me explain to you. Ah, there's a good example. You see the snake motif up there? Again, Gurubashi. Zul stands for city, or something similar to city. Home, maybe? We're not actually sure. But something along those lines, which is funny because there is a troll called Zul, a relatively recent troll, so the cities were not named after him. Anyways, this is how much these guys revere Gazrilla. This is a pit of water. A massive pit of water. Here, let me give you an idea of how big this thing is. Look at this. This is a giant pool of water. And this pool of water is dedicated solely towards Gazrilla. They don't. It's not for, you know, their own drinking. It's not for their own purposes. They give all of this, one of the most valuable resources they have, just to their so-called god. It's, yeah. Now, where the heck is she right now? Where is she? Well, Haka. He's a bastard. Haka is probably the most evil freaking Loa ever to exist, and among the most powerful. Where the hell is she? Oh, I already killed her. Whoops. I didn't even realize I killed her. Doo-doo-doo. I don't think they do, Scottison. Unless they used a voodoo to do it. And of course, Gazrilla actually sits in that pool basically all the time, just sort of residing in the waters. So that's Godzilla. Excuse me, Gohira. Or Gozira, if you prefer. Legend has it that Gazrilla was an adored pet of the old gods, or even a demigod in her own right. Whatever the truth is, the Sand Fury trolls have worshipped this monstrous hydra for thousands of years, ever wary of the beast's icy wrath. The trolls will only rouse Gazrilla when they have plentiful sacrifices to sate the ravenous creature's appetite. I want to stress they'd get no actual benefit from Gazrilla being here. That's just kind of screwed up when you really think about it. They sacrifice a huge body of water and tons of lives to something that gives them nothing. Something about that is just kind of messed up. But anyways, moving on. Now, time to do the pyramid. Now, if you'll notice, it looks a little different than it did when we were out in the overworld. Excuse me. So, this was actually one of the very first times ever, basically, that they actually had another adventuring party show up. This kind of became more and more of a thing as the expansions went on. But back in vanilla, this was basically the only other adventuring party that there was. You know, other than the player characters, obviously. It was these guys. Well, let's read their thing before we... Alright, hang on. Is there a... Yeah, that's what I thought. Ah. So this is going to be setting up for a... for an event where we'll be fighting several trolls, namely Necrum and Saziz. Necrum Gutchewer has mysteriously lived well past his natural life, but his decaying body remains strong enough to aid Saziz. Together, these two trolls have gathered sacrifices to the mystic beast, Gazrilla, who slumbers at the city's heart. Many trolls followers eagerly await the terrifying creature's awakening, and they will do anything to see the ritual through. So, yeah, for those of you who didn't pay attention to the lore of this back in the day, this was probably really, really confusing. So I just want you to get a nice shot of that. I'm going to go and set them free.
What can I do for you?
Help, my band have been captured by trolls. They're trying to sacrifice us.
What's up? Keep it real.
Okay.
Hurry
Be free. So as you can see, we've got an orc, a dwarf, 2 humans, and a goblin. That's their adventuring party. But wait a minute. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Tank, rogue, healer, warlock, priest, warlock. Oh, crap. No, here they come. So this was kind of a weird gauntlet sort of a thing. Tanking this was a pain in vanilla, given the almost total lack of proper AoE tanking tools. So forgive me for exacting some revenge here. Die. They would actually fight with you. But if they died, the event would be screwed up and fail. So, you know, that's fun.
Talk to me.
We have to kill more trolls. Kill enough and I'll blow the door to the troll chief.
Keep it real.
So there's Saziz, and there's Gutchewer. Let's go and assassinate them. So another fun thing, I don't actually know if this is true or not, but if you waited too long, you couldn't fight this boss. So we gotta talk to him first.
Time is money, friend.
Go blast the door. Hey, Sergeant Bly.
Greetings.
Thanks a lot, Tomazot. We couldn't have made it without you. Oh, and if I had mentioned something about repaying you for saving us, well, you can forget it. That's it. I'm tired of helping you out. It's time we settle things on the battlefield.
Be careful.
What? How dare you say that to me? After all we've been through, well, I didn't like you anyway. And down they go. Oh, hey, I got the Bad Mojo mask. With all of them dead, there's only two trolls left in old Zul'Farrak. Chief Urkar's Sandsculp is obsessed with restoring his tribe to its former glory. He was raised on the stories of a time when the trolls lorded over their ancient lands, without interference from goblins and gnomes and pirates and ogres and other foreign interlopers. Sandsculp has called upon his trusted comrade Rizulu to help him begin a new chapter in Sand Fury history, the only way the tribe knows how, with swift and blinding violence. I sure hope no one comes up to kill them and forces them to join the Zandalari. That would kind of suck.
This desert be mine.
They promised us... Hey, he dropped Jangthrace. They promised us a reward if we had saved them. And then they went back on their word. And I mean, honestly, there's only one thing you can do. Well, I guess that's true. Also, if you save them, the goblin will open the door. You kind of have to save them in gameplay terms in order to access the last boss. Wow. Fun fact, my lasagna's been ready for about an hour now. It's okay, we're gonna be done with Tanaris. Or Tanaris. I really have no idea how they want it to be pronounced. Tanaros? I don't know. Quite a few Permeus. I gotta be honest, I was a little surprised to see the Faraki in Pandaria, because we kind of screwed them over bad. It's probably likely that after the events of Pandaria, the Faraki have actually ceased to be a functional power. Like, that really wouldn't surprise me. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Nah, I'm going to keep going with Tanaris, because that's what I've called it for years. Rogue.
Yo!
I knew I could count on you. Here's something for your troubles.
Hurry back!
Time is money, friend.
Do you got what I need? Excellent. This tiara will grant me complete control of the water around here, and the electrified scale will serve to power all my machines I use to my advantage. You're gonna make me a very rich and very powerful goblin. You can have this. It's nothing compared to what I'll have soon.
Keep it real.
You killed them. All of them. And you returned alive. Take what you want off me body, then. It's mostly curse-free, Mazoga promises. He's gone. Did he have the soul? Nah. Don't tell me. Don't matter no more. Mazoga don't care. I'm off now, man. The consequences of me actions await me. Take whatever I was holding. I don't need it where I'm going. Farewell, Mazoga. I hope you die a horrible... Wait. Crap, I'm too late on that one. Ah, well. I already answered that question, Jay. Sorry. So next we'll be doing... Unguro. Bom, bom, bom. See you in a bit, guys.